Satellite images are a powerful tool to reveal what is happening on the ground in a conflict zone. In this video, we will show you how satellite images from Maxar Technologies, a private company, reveal the locations and types of Russian military equipment and deployments around Ukraine. Maxar Technologies operates a fleet of high-resolution satellites that can capture images of the Earth's surface with incredible detail. These images can be analyzed by experts to identify different kinds of military assets, such as tanks, artillery, missiles, aircraft, and troops. One of the areas where Maxar Technologies has been monitoring the Russian military buildup is in Belarus, a neighboring country of Ukraine that is allied with Russia. Belarus has allowed Russia to use its territory as a staging ground for a possible invasion of Ukraine. Satellite images taken by Maxar Technologies show missiles, armored equipment, and troops accumulating at various locations in Belarus, such as Leninets Air Base, Mazar, Osipovichy, Rakitsa, and Zayabravka. These images also show a field hospital compound built in the Belarusian city of Norulia, indicating that Russia is preparing for casualties. Another area where Maxar Technologies has been tracking the Russian military activity is in eastern Ukraine, where pro-Russian separatists have been fighting against the Ukrainian government since 2014. Russia has been supporting the separatists with weapons and personnel, and has also deployed its own forces near the border with Ukraine. Satellite images taken by Maxar Technologies show the destruction of several Ukrainian cities that have been attacked by Russian forces or their proxies. For example, Maxar Technologies released before and after satellite images of the city of Volnovakha in southeast Ukraine near the Russian border. The images show significant damage to residential and civilian infrastructure, such as buildings, train stations, and churches. Maxar Technologies also released images from the besieged eastern city of Kharkiv and the city of Chernihiv, which is roughly 150 kilometers from the center of Kiev. The images show fires burning around homes and a local stadium that has been destroyed by shelling. The images also show artillery impact craters next to residential areas in Kharkiv. These satellite images provide clear evidence of the scale and intensity of the Russian aggression against Ukraine. They also show how vulnerable Ukraine is to a full-scale invasion from multiple directions. Maxar Technologies continues to monitor the situation and provide timely and accurate information to the public and the international community. The Russian troop buildup near Ukraine has sparked fears of a large-scale military conflict that could have serious implications and risks for Ukraine and the international community. Here are some of the main points to consider. The Russian forces have positioned themselves on three sides of Ukraine: in Belarus, Western Russia, and Crimea, and on naval vessels in the Black Sea. They include some of Russia's most potent weapons systems and well-trained troops that could strike targets throughout Ukraine. The Russian deployment is the largest since Moscow first seized Crimea and supported separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine in 2014. It has been accompanied by an escalation of violence along the line of control between Ukrainian forces and Russian-backed militants in Donbass. The Kremlin has not stated its intentions clearly, but it has accused Ukraine of acting provocatively and NATO of threatening its security interests. Some analysts believe that Russia is trying to coerce Ukraine and the West into accepting its demands, such as a veto over Ukraine's NATO membership and a special status for Donbass within Ukraine. Others fear that Russia is preparing for a real invasion, if it fails to get what it wants through diplomacy. A Russian invasion of Ukraine would likely trigger the worst crisis between Moscow and the West in decades, with severe consequences for regional stability, security, and human rights. It could also lead to a wider conflict in Europe, as NATO allies would be obliged to defend Ukraine under Article 5 of the Alliance's treaty.